Welcome to the show. This is a show. The name of the show is Talk About It with Chidi, and I'm here with my very good friend Sake. The topic of today is the healthcare system in Nigeria that has become a killing machine nobody's talking about. The pulse is fading. They call it a healthcare system, but in Nigeria, it is more of a gamble where the house always wins, and the house is the morgue. Have you ever stood in a hallway and watched the light leave a person's eyes? Not because their disease was incurable, but because their pockets were empty. Nigeria turned our hospitals into toll gates. We don't ask where does it hurt anymore. We ask where is the deposit slip. Payment before treatment in Nigeria, those four words are the death warrant for the Nigerian masses. We watch mothers cradling feverish children waiting for a bank transfer that won't come because the network is down or worse, because the money simply doesn't exist. We are a nation where the majority are not just poor, they are dimensionally poor. They are fighting a war on two fronts. Their stomach are growling for food they can't afford, while their bodies are failing from illness they can't treat. How do you choose between a bag of rice and an IV bag? And where is the government in this tragedy? They sit in their air conditions, their own medical bills covered by the state, often in London or Dubai, while the hospital they oversee are graveyards for the poor. There is no subsidy for the man who collapsed on the street, no safety net. If you have no money, the system treats you like you have no soul. The pulse of this nation is fading, and we are standing by with empty syringe. Thank you. So I'll bring it to you, my co-host. Do you have anything to say? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chidi, for having me. First, I would want to say, okay, being that it's an health related topic, I just want to make a reference to my younger brother I lost, God rest his soul, and being what you have, your intro just made it very clear regarding what has a little divergence to maybe just drop a little snippet of what happened back then. It was UBTH in Benin City here, and he was sick. Being that okay, we rushed him there, and there was no room available to hospitalize him. In quotes now, we had to pay extra to have him in a private room. And I don't want to say I was opportuned. I was asked to go and get drugs for him while he was still inside the private ward that he was. And I saw people at the pharmacy, close to the pharmacy, anyways. They, they rushed some people in. There were no beds. They were basically placed on the floor and being treated on the bare floor at UBTH. I'm just talking on personal experience before we go into any other thing. This is personal to me. So that's why I had to just bring it first to say, okay, I'm a first hand person that experienced this kind of bad healthcare system in Nigeria, UBTH. I'm talking about UBTH. I can be quoted anywhere because I saw it. I might not have the physical or the video evidence too, but I experienced it. My brother was there. He eventually died anyways, but I'm just telling you things could have been done. Not for my brother now. I'm talking about people that cannot afford to have their family members in a private ward to be taken care of. are being treated on their floor in a federal hospital. So there are lots to be talked about. I just wanted to okay, just put that to you and let's go on from there.
Thank you very much, Sake. So, uh, this show today, we're going to be talking about the pain people feel, the pain that has happened to a lot of family for a long time. We're going to be talking about it. Then we're going to be also giving the kind of solutions that can help uh, mitigate this disaster. Because to me, I call it a killing machine, and I'm very, very sympathetic to your loss of your brother. Um,
Thank you.
I can relate to your pain. I can relate to your pain, but I'm not going to go deep into it. But I'm still going to talk a little bit about it because of what we're talking about the healthcare system. As someone who has the privilege of living on both sides of the Atlantic, I have seen the two sides of the healthcare system. I've seen one side where the healthcare system is totally dead and does not function at all. And I've seen another side where the healthcare system is functioning, even though to some extent might be quasi expensive, but I can see the way the government have acted to help mitigate some of those expenses. I have had the opportunity to be in clinics and hospitals. Like for example, before I traveled and left Nigeria, I ran into a bike man. I was driving, and due to the lack of coordination of road, I ran into a bike man, and I took the bike man to FMC, a federal clinic. When I mean a federal hospital, FMC means Federal Medical Center, meaning the Nigerian government is responsible for that hospital. Now, this is what I see. Let me give you the two different parts of healthcare system. When we rushed the guy to the place, first of all, there was no ambulance to take the guy from the accident scene to the place. And when we got to the place, because I put him in my car and rushed him over there. So, but when we got there, the people were just gisting. The nurses at the decks were just gisting. The only thing they told us was where he can sit, and he was asked to sit there, but they were just gisting. It was just gist. Then I now realized one thing. And I realized nobody was attending to the guy. And I realized that nobody's making a move. So I went to meet the nurse, and I asked them what was going on. Their behavior, their reaction was very, 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 very disappointing. You know how rude they are. And she told me we've not gotten a card yet, and I expect them to trade. I should go get a card. Then when I get the card, then I should come back. So I did as she said. I want to get a card. Came back, gave her the card. Then they went did what they did, and later they told us this is how much we're going to pay before they would administer any form of treatment to him. So we had to pay that amount before any form of treatment was administered to the guy. So when the time for treatment come, we were directed into what they call theater. But when you get into that place that is called a theater, it's a very dirty, disgusting place. The bed does not have a replacement sheet. You know, the place, the walls were all dirty, the floors were dirty. There was no equipment like radio or no anything. What they were using to hold the IV was a spooky kind of hanger kind of looking stuff. The environment was not conducive at all. That is one. So, but when again, This one happened in Asaba. This is in Asaba. So I'm trying to draw an inference for you if you don't mind me talking for a little bit. I'm trying to draw an inference for this is in Asaba. Now let's talk about Port Harcourt. I happened to be in Port Harcourt where my brother fell ill. We're having a meeting, and all of a sudden he could not feel one side of his body. I guess it was like a partial stroke kind of stuff. We rushed him to the hospital, and he was like gasping for air and all. My younger sister, who's was into nursing in America, my younger sister was telling them he need oxygen, put oxygen in his nose. And the lady had this thing they used to measure oxygen and they put it in your finger and it was reading that he had like 92% oxygen. The lady was like, the nurse was like, he does not need oxygen. My sister was like, just put the oxygen in his nose to help his breathing, to allow him breathe easily, simple. She refused to put the oxygen. After a lot of debate, she yelled at my sister and be like, stop putting me under pressure. Stop doing this and stop doing that. You know. So at the end of the day, she was asked to leave the place. Later, they said they could not do anything. We should transfer him. There was still no ambulance to transfer him. It was our vehicle. But before we could leave, we were asked to pay the balance money. But when we got there, before they even touched him, we had to get a card. We had to pay upfront money before they attended to him. So, but before we left, they did not allow us to take our cars because they wanted us to pay the balance. So we paid the balance before we were allowed to leave. So we left to another clinic, another hospital. When we got to this hospital, they just put him one side. They were talking. Someone will come, take his vitals, his blood pressure, and all. He was not improving. They were not doing anything significant to revive him or do anything significant that shows that he's going to regain himself. From there, we finally got an ambulance from that place. They said they could not do anything. We finally got an ambulance and took him to Port Harcourt Medical Center. Realized that teaching hospital, right? Just the way you have UBTH in Benin, where you have a hospital where they teach their doctors, where their doctors go to practice. You understand what I mean? Right. Let me just round it up, summarize it, because I need to still give you an example of the other side of the Atlantic. So you see the two different healthcare systems before we go deep into it. When we got to the teaching hospital in Port Harcourt, the environment was nothing to write home about. It was like a hallway. The place was demarcated with curtains. The environment, the floor was were like dusty. Everywhere was kind of, and still the oxygen they brought, the oxygen tank looked so dirty, like as if it has engine oil inside instead of oxygen. And we had to buy that oxygen. You know, we had to go buy that oxygen ourselves, right? At the end of the day, I told my sisters and my brothers that I believe that oxygen was still empty because at the end of the day, he was still gasping for air. He finally passed
or
on.
breath.
Yes, he was still gasping for breath. He finally passed on. Now, let me tell you how I believe a real healthcare system is supposed to work. In America, right?
I'm very before you
Yeah, go
continue,
ahead.
I'm very sorry about that.
Go ahead. Thank you.
I think I'm very sorry because it's very difficult losing a loved one,
I'm
and
telling you.
it's due to negligence of certain group of people that are supposed to help save lives. But it is what it is in Nigeria.
So the other part of it is in the other side of the Atlantic. Let's say you fall ill, you don't have an insurance. You can go to an emergency, and they'll take care of you. World class treatment. Clinic is clean. Environment is clean. The doctors, the nurses are taking precaution not to transfer bacteria, cross contamination. They are washing their hands. They are wearing gloves. Their customer service is like they are angels. They are smiling to you, telling you things to make you feel better. Even if you're sick, the way they treat you make you feel alive. They treat you like a human being. And when you enter the hospital, let's say they admit you, there is a monitor that monitors your oxygen, your breath, everything, your sugar, the drip, Everything is the place, the environment is dope. Like you're in a very nice place. You know that you're gonna get better because when they are taking care of you, you're seeing the effect of the treatment. You know what I mean? And when there's an emergency, the way they rush in, you see like three, five doctors, all specialists. If they needed more specialists, they will start making calls. If they need to fly that person, lift that person to come there urgently, they will do what they have to do in order for that person to be safe. That is the difference between the both side of the Atlantic. The oxygen, nobody tells you to go buy oxygen. Nobody tells you to fill card or anything. They don't ask you for money. Even when you leave the hospital, they don't ask you for money. If your insurance pays 80%, the remaining 20%, they will mail it to your house. And if, for example, you've not even paid that 20% and you fall ill again and go to that same hospital, they will still give you that same world class treatment and send the bill to your house. You understand what I mean? So that is it. So that's where I'm going to drop it before we move into examples and watch a couple of videos where incidents in Nigeria has actually happened where people go to hospitals and because of lack of payment, they end up
Yeah.
dying. You have anything to contribute to that?
Well, basically, I think we should just go into the topic in total and maybe let's make our viewers understand what, or let's give them examples of certain things that has happened that ought not to have happened, so that they will know the perspective and the point of view that we are coming from, so that probably whoever is watching that is in position to maybe make any difference regarding our health sector will probably just okay maybe still tap into certain information that will drop in and the rest of it. So the show is up to you. Let's go.
Thank you very much. So yeah, actually, there are a couple of examples that I can give that we have all seen in the past. Like there was a lady that I saw that actually caused a stir and went viral on social media. The lady went to a hospital and was refused an entrance and was left in front of the hospital to die. That is one. There is a lady whom of recent, few days ago. I don't know if you saw the story. I don't know if you researched the story I told you about. If you can explain a little bit about it to our viewers, the one that just happened of recent, where the girl lost her sister while she was in Abuja or Lagos fighting a frivolous lawsuit.
Well,
Well,
basically, now we're having divergent views. Sorry, if let me just quickly talk about that. Now the hospital is having or saying it wasn't that there was no oxygen in the hospital. That's what they are claiming, that they had oxygen. But why they could not revive her is the question that everybody is asking now. Because the lady, what's her name? I think George, one influencer. Her name, I think, surname is George. He was the one that made the whole story public, and the hospital came to counter our claim, saying that it wasn't that there was no oxygen, that there was oxygen in the hospital as at that time, but they could not ascertain why the lady actually died. They did not
so,
make any
but do
assertion
you
regarding
know?
that, and nobody has.
But, but do you know the hospital will never come out and say, "Oh, we did not have we didn't have oxygen." That is gonna be detrimental to the establishment and to whatever it is. So they will never ever. That is where an investigation is supposed to come in. But you know how Nigeria kind of investigation works. It's nothing to write home about. But another one that I want to play is about the
Then we
situation
could go
where
on. Say we could go on. There are a lot of stories that can
So I think my co-host is having a problem. But while his network is coming back on, there's a particular one that really caught my eyes, and I wanna try and play this video for you. It's a news media where a lady died because she died because there was no because there was no vaccine to a snake bite, and that really terrified me because how can you not have how can you not have vaccine in a country that's have over 200 million people, and the idea the idea of having a snake bite, it's very possible in that society. And
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. And you just don't have a vaccine. And let's listen to this video, and we'll come back and talk about it. Let me play this video if you don't mind. Where is this video?
Maya Wangene following a snake bite at her Abuja apartment on Sunday, the 1st of February 2026. Questions and controversies have emerged around the emergency response and treatment that she got at the healthcare facility she visited. Now, concerns about non-availability of anti-snake venom claims the Federal Medical Center Abuja has since strongly denied in a press statement, adding that the patient rather had suffered severe neurotic or neurotoxic complications from a snake bite, despite all efforts to stabilize her condition. Now, News Central's Aisha Saliu is investigating this incident, and she joins us now for more updates. Aisha, can you please bring us up to speed on the event that has led to Ifnaya Wangena's death? It's quite sad, and we've seen Nigerians with mixed reactions. Someone did compare the Nigerian health sector to that in the United States, saying that the last time someone died of a snake bite in the United States about 50 years ago. What is the current situation as you have been investigating?
Blessings, it is indeed sad because the case of Mifuna adds to the rising statistics of cases, confirmed cases, and also reported cases, and also fatality that has risen from snake bites. We understand, and from the reports that we have gathered and accounts from the families and friends of late Miss Ifunanya, we understand that this happened over the weekend where she was sleeping and woke up feeling a sting on her skin and then realizing that she must have been bitten by a snake which she saw in her apartment. And upon that, she booked a ride to visit a health facility. The first one she visited was a private facility where the anti-snake venom was not available. And then she visited the Federal Medical Center, Abuja, here where we are standing. And we understand that she arrived at the facility. And from what the hospital is saying is that once she arrived, they attended to her, gave her all they needed to give to her, the anti-venom and every other emergency treatment that you would expect. But due to the delay from the snake venom in her system,
Just to go back to what we were saying, just like the video, right? Like we said before, just like you said that the hospital denied the fact that they had no oxygen. This other hospital was saying that they had antivenom, but the allegation was that there was no antivenom in the hospital. So who do we believe? Do we believe the hospital, or do we believe the evidence that shows the dead bodies? What's your take? Can you hear me? Well, I think my co-host is having another network problem issue. Well, he lives in Nigeria, and the issues in Nigeria with their network is not for the faint-hearted. You know, you pay for something and you don't enjoy what you're paying for. drug dealer. So basically, in Nigeria, it is common for stuff like this to happen, and for change to happen. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, because I was
I can hear
talking.
you. I can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying that in this video that I just played, the question I asked you was that when you spoke, you said that the hospital said they had oxygen, and also when you listen to this video, they are saying they had the antivenom in the hospital. But on both cases, the allegation is that they do not have the antivenom nor the oxygen in place at the time. So who do we believe? Do we believe the hospitals who have everything to lose, or do we believe the evidence of the dead bodies?
This then boils down to a lot of things. A lot of things in quotes now. Being that, okay, take for instance, in 2026, are we supposed to have hospitals that don't have antivenom? Are we supposed to have hospitals that don't have oxygen? All those primary requirements for first aid in hospitals that people are paying for. You know, there are sometimes you hear gunshot injuries. Maybe overzealous police officers just maybe shoot and eventually hit somebody, and the hospital has to take police reports before treating a gunshot victim. They have to get police reports, and the gunshot victim might even end up dying in their facility, or they will not even allow them enter their facility because they want police reports. So there are a lot of things that need to be put in place. So they will definitely, like you mentioned earlier, they will definitely deny, which is normal for every business. So okay, protect their own brand or facility, in quotes now. But
Yeah, they'll be protecting their own interests like that too. Yeah.
so if we keep doing this, at the end of the day, what the issue are is basically the control. I want to just maybe probably just say, okay, let me just make everything simple for you to understand. I think over there, in the other side of the country, you guys have controls. Take, for instance, your food control agencies, your medical control agencies. But over here, you want to set up an hospital or a hospital, I mean, and you definitely, once you finish building or doing your building, you equip it with the necessary equipment, in quote now, because we don't really have equipment in our hospitals, but the necessary ones, the oxygen, like you mentioned, or everything, and the inspectors come and they check it. It's available. They check you. Continue. Start your business. You understand? But there's no continuous check on those facilities. You will run out of oxygen, you will not restock. You run out of antivenom, you will not restock. All the necessary things that they saw when they came to inspect you, you will run out of them because nobody is coming back to make sure you stay in constant position of being able to render your medical responsibility to the member of the public. They will just let it go. Everybody, you can even just go and bribe them and everybody just goes away. Nobody cares to look about how you are running your facility away. In America, for instance, you know, okay, they want, even in the restaurants, they will come and check your restaurants, the hygiene level and the rest of it. You understand? This contributes to a lot of things that is happening, that is making all these things happen in Nigeria. And if they, the administration, the government agencies, don't put this into check, my brother, will end up dilly-dallying over these things over and over again because they just want what they can get at every particular point in time. So if we don't keep talking about it, we have to just be in their face, in their faces all the time. Because that is, if they don't impromptu check in, you just say, okay, oh, today we are going to this particular clinic to know what and what they ought to have that they don't have. If we don't do that, at the end of the day, we'll just keep messing ourselves. These stories will keep coming. I don't know if I will just go before you on this Chimamanda's son. I'll ask you one simple question. In a rhetorical question, so I don't expect an answer. If this lady had decided that she doesn't want to visit Nigeria again for the rest of her life, do you know she'll still live well over there in America? She'll
Absolutely,
live
she's
well,
like
survive well.
absolutely she's well known over here. She has a
So
reputation out here. So yeah,
if not that she wants to still relate with her roots, that is basically the reason why I think she came over for that visit. She could easily just say, okay, F Nigeria, I just want to remain here. The good life is there, everything is there, but she still wants to be related to her roots. And at the end of the day, she came to lose her own child over here because of negligence of the hospital. Now they're apologizing. Who are they apologizing to? To the child that is dead or to the mother that has
just
lost his son?
yeah, they just rob her the joy of having a twins and having them grow up together. It's crazy.
So I don't know. Well,
Well,
everything
what?
just boils down to
What? Sorry, go ahead. Finish up. Let me just go ahead and play this video.
everything boils down to the uh, agencies that are supposed to monitor and take care of these things. Because all these things that are happening, they will still die down. One or two persons will do some bribery, and believe you me, Chidi, you've been away for a long time. Everything will die down. I swear down, and nobody will talk about it again.
That's the
They will
problem.
just
And
something else will just come up, and that particular story or it's now. The funny thing is that is it now that the stories are even coming out because before we don't hear these stories, but the social media, in as much as it has done to me more harm than good in terms of the negative perceptions that people are portraying outside there. But I'll tell you, it has also helped in making these stories come out because some of these stories just die down because people, some influential people will just sit on the story and it will just die. But now that we are getting to hear the stories on social media and
okay, the Nigerian
it's
network
making
is
them,
active. Can you hear me?
well, it's at it again. So
Yeah,
I can hear you. Now that the social media now involved in most of these stories, I can hear you. They are now sitting up in quotes now. Some of them are sitting up because they know these stories can easily go viral and their establishment can easily be maybe closed or go down for that situation. So that's the only benefit I think social media even brought into this particular scenario. So we just need to keep talking about it. The health sector is being mismanaged, and I'll say it for free because you go to hospitals, there's no proper diagnosis. They just okay, oh, they can just no. Jesus Christ, there are hospitals without scanners. You can't do normal checkup. They will be referring you. Okay, I had a situation. Mr. Biodun, one of my senior colleagues at the office, do you know he rushed one of his colleagues to the hospital and the hospital had the only body scan, I think in almost Edo State. Yes, in Edo State. Not almost. And they referred, I think the doctor on duty that particular day checked her and I think he analyzed that the fact that she probably would not make it. Do you know what he did? He referred her to UBTH. And they drove her down around 3 o'clock in the morning. You know how our roads are. Biodun drove her down to UBT that particular morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Getting there, they now said that they should have taken her to this other hospital that they just left from. They were telling him, the doctor, that we just left this hospital, they referred us here. He said they are the only one that has the equipment to scan her. I'm telling you, UBCH does not have the equipment to scan. They are referring them back to a private hospital that just referred them to UBTH. So is that bad? And if you don't speak the truth to power, we will all, God forbid anything happens to anybody or any of our family members. This is how we just dance. Eventually, they might even end up below the feet.
And
So
that is why a lot of people have chosen that since they don't have money for healthcare, maybe church is the option, is the only option, and that is cheaper. Maybe $200 every Sunday or 500 naira every Sunday for offering is cheaper than paying hundreds of thousands of naira for healthcare. That is why you see someone that has stomach pain goes to meet Pastor Dumeje or goes to meet Pastor Jeremiah or somebody
I see
that
the shaker.
is, you know what I mean? So, but let me play this video because this video is going to actually point to what we're trying to talk about Nigeria kind of healthcare system, the environment, and the kind of equipment they use to treat people.
Have you seen the problem that we're facing in this country? That is the electricity that is powering this entire hospital. This is actually purchased by the clinic itself. Yes, by the clinic itself, without any support from outsiders. This is the labor room. This is where women give birth. I'm sure you can use your eyes and see. We're human beings, not animals. This is not where human beings should give birth. People in power can do better. They can do better than this. Let's focus our attention back to the primary healthcare center. Because the villages that are around this primary healthcare center, they all come here to give birth. You don't have to be in a city. That's the toilet. This is where people give birth. First of all, the place stank. How many deliveries do people have in a day? In a month? 80. 60, 50, 80 at times.
Yes. Sometimes 80, 90. It's around October.
Before it was just for delivery.
It's just maternity.
Before they changed it to a primary healthcare center.
First hospital that started delivery.
Wow. In this primary healthcare center, this is the only forceps in this entire place. They don't have more than this. This is the only suction bulb, and this is not reusable. This is supposed to be single use. So if you have a baby in respiratory distress, this is the only thing you can use. And then they have only one in the entire primary healthcare center. Just one. And you do 80, 50, 60 deliveries in a month. That's wicked.
Let me pause it a little bit and talk about cross contamination, right? Let me show you something. When I was talking about cross contamination, these are the things I picked up. I told you about America's system, where the doctor goes in, the glove, the sheet they take into your room, they cannot take that same sheet into another resident's room, another patient's room. Not to talk of using one suction ball to suction the nose of a child and use that same suction ball to suction another nose of a child. That is impossible. That is cross contamination. If that child has one sickness, you have transferred that sickness or that bacterial disease from that one child to the other child. So you see, they use the same scissors, they use the same whatever they use to deliver one woman, they use it for 80 women to deliver 80 women in a month. And that is wrong. That is cross contamination. So let's proceed. This is really sickening, to be honest with you.
Yes. And they don't want people to know. They're still hiding it.
Yes, yeah. If we have like 2 days.
If you have to deliver it, you have to keep recycling this.
We have to be putting it in our disinfectant and be bringing it out.
Wonderful. Let's put attention in our primary healthcare centers. Human beings live here and they deserve
Pay
health.
attention to the environment.
This is not what a male ward should look like. Standard is not what it should look like, because everybody everywhere deserves access to the highest quality of care possible, no matter where they are. No matter where they are, you shouldn't have to travel to get good health care. You should get good health care, including the primary health care center. So they renovated every place, but they didn't renovate the wards. Yeah, okay. Oh, the wards were horrible. The wards were horrible. Did you see the labor ward? Sorry, did you see the labor room? The labor room was terrible.
So, what is your take after saying that? Are you there? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Were you able to see the video I played, or do you want me to play it all over again?
No, I saw it.
So
And
what is
basically,
your take?
the thing is, if I always want to use the phrase or the word we don't act, we will still continue being in this mess that we are in. Take, for instance, this apropos doctor guy. If he had not gone to that particular clinic to see what is going on, do you know you will not have the video evidence to even know what actually is going on in that particular clinic. So we need not leave it to them anymore. We have to just take, probably in quotes now, take the bull. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm waiting for you to finish so I can play the remaining video.
We all need to basically take the bull by the horn and make these people accountable to all of us. Okay, take for instance, where I work, I've been working there for 13 years. You understand?
Yeah.
And I pay for my NHIS. At least they deduct it from my salary on a monthly. And I have never visited any of the hospitals. Meaning those deductions are meant to be used to cater for other people's medications and the rest of it. You understand what I mean? But at the end of the day, some people still go to the hospital and say they will still let them know that, okay, your money, the money you are paying is not up to this particular treatment. I'm telling you, in Nigeria as we speak, they will tell you your grade is not up to that particular, that ailment you are having. They cannot treat it because your monthly payment as an NHIS subscriber, your money is not up to your ailments, so they cannot treat you. Meanwhile, some of us don't even go to this hospital, but they keep deduction. The deduction is still there. They deduct from our salaries on a monthly and remit to them. But these people cannot access their medical treatments because they are, okay, they'll tell you are bronze, this one is gold, this one is silver, they just give them.
So it's like a form of insurance. It's like a form of insurance, right?
Yeah. So that if you are sick, you can go for treatment. So they now class it. So they deduct every month, from your salary. And now they started making class out of these deductions. If you are bronze, if you are gold, if you are silver, they just do that. And if you are bronze or whatever, your money, if there's a major sickness that you have, in quotes now, they will not treat you because you are not up to the silver standard. So they now class sicknesses. So if you are not up to that class, you cannot access
a certain level of that is crazy. But let's just finish this video. Go ahead. You're gonna say something. Let's just round up this video real quick and wrap up the show.
The vaccines must remain at a particular temperature for it to be effective. And you can see this is not working. All the ice packs have defrosted. They don't even have lights. You can see it's not working. So it means that if they want to get vaccines, they have to get their antigens from another.
Nearest facility have solar refrigerator to collect ice
To
packs.
collect.
Yeah.
So you can see, but this is not how it should be. This is not how it should be. This is not how it should be.
Always we pay transport to go nearest facility to have solar refrigerators to collect ice packs to maintain the vaccine.
To maintain the vaccines at that temperature. You can close it so we don't lose. Let's focus on the primary healthcare centers. Don't let your people deceive you, painting a hospital, cutting ribbon, and the ceremony for cutting the ribbon is more expensive than what is inside the hospital. Let's put the money where it actually matters, in the primary healthcare centers. If your leader is not serious about the primary healthcare center, they are wasting their time, because the primary healthcare center is the first level of healthcare in any country, any state, any local government that is serious about healthcare. There are women who give birth in these hospitals. You can see what the labor room looks like. There are people who are going to need wound care. You can see what the wards look like. There are children who require help from this hospital. You can see what the resources look like. Vaccines have to be imported from another hospital just so that they can be given to the people here. But no worry, you can scroll, because this is not bomb or funny or whatever it is, but it's going to affect every single one of us. Tell your leaders that they should focus on primary healthcare centers and not be building fake ultramodern hospitals everywhere when this is neglected, because everybody everywhere actually deserves access to the highest quality care possible. This hospital does not even have adequate solar care. There's no lights.
At first, the nurses were a bit hesitant.
Yes.
And then the secret started. They couldn't help themselves. That's what you just know that. It's painful. These secrets were pouring out.
And I'm sure they don't invite these guys for training.
Yes.
Obviously.
So, what was your take, my brother, man? That's very sad. What was your take? Are you there? Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah, what's your take? What's your take on the video? You were able to see the video, right?
Yeah. Well, basically, the primary health care is something that is, like you say, like it rightly, the name rightly said, primary health care. It's supposed to be what every other person in any community, localized community, can easily access for their health care. But these guys, if I tell you that they get allocations, I was not able to, I wanted to dig deep into the allocations that most of them get for their primary health care. But I wasn't able to do that. But hopefully we'll do that maybe on another session. They get allocation for this particular.
Your dog backing is terrible. Well, I guess. Well, let me just speak before you. When you finish ratifying it, because you're muted now. You're done. Give me thumbs up if it's the sounding.
Like I was saying, sorry about that.
No,
the issue about primary health care, these guys get allocations for this. The local government chairmen, the councillors, they get allocations because you cannot. Now, personally, I would not blame the president for anything relating to primary health care because there are allocations for this that some few miscreants or nonchalant individuals choose to want to just embezzle and they keep embezzling. We'll just keep blaming presidency for all of this. So we as individuals. Okay, take for instance now, this guy has gone to do an a survey of a particular, and obviously is from the north.
Yeah, that was in the north. That was in the north. That video was in the north. That is true. But I want to really speak about some solutions. I would still like us to talk about solutions because solutions. Yeah, I say while we're
The
talking, I'll
solution,
still like us to talk about
the
solutions. I
solution,
have some that I will talk about, but you go ahead, and I'll also show you
the
the different
solution,
kind of hospital in
the
America. Go
solution,
ahead.
I think, the solution, I think, will be that we monitoring teams have to be available, because if you have these monitoring teams that go from clinic to clinic, be it centers, medical centers, or private hospitals, or federal hospitals, all these people, they will, knowing that they can easily be monitored and checked. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you
Can you
hear
hear me
me?
now?
I can hear you.
Uh,
It's like you
knowing
can.
that knowing that they can be knowing that they can be monitored and checked, I want to believe that will make them or help them sit up. But that's okay. Oh, once they are no, there's nobody monitoring what they are doing or checking what they are doing, like it happens over there, they will keep on doing or having this that nonchalant attitude towards work, because there's no way you will have a nurse or a doctor. Okay, let me, sorry, I want to just digress into something, same medical issue. We have doctors, say UBTH, we have doctors that are running private hospitals. I'm telling you that they have their private hospitals. And instead of them being available at, say, UBTH, for instance, I'm mentioning names, I'm mentioning that same hospital. Instead of them being available at UBTH, they are in their own private hospital. You understand?
Yeah,
Working at their private hospital. You understand?
yeah,
So if there's an issue at UBTH and they are supposed to be the ones to administer or take care of whatever they ought to have taken care of back there at UBTH, they will refer these people to their own hospital. I don't know if you understand me. They will
yeah.
refer them to their own private hospital so that the person will now pay them directly instead of paying to UBTH at a cheaper rate. So the person will pay over there at their own private facility, and they will probably take care of the person. So most referrals from UBTH to any other hospital best know that it's going to the doctor that's supposed to take charge of that particular ailment. They are referring them to their own private hospitals so that they can charge them extra and get the money into their own pockets. Even blood banks. Some private hospitals have blood bank. UBT does not have blood bank. So it's terrible. If the government does not sit up, we'll keep going through this thing. Chidi.
Well,
And
but Well, these are some of the solutions that I think might be better to help to stop that payment first that has caused a lot of people to die without treatment. One of it is this the government can transition to a single payer system, which is cover everybody, scrapping the fragment underfunded health now underfunded Nigeria Health Insurance Authorities. That's what is called, in favor of a government single
NHIS.
healthcare. Yeah, a government single healthcare payer system. This would pool all healthcare risk, all the kind of sickness, everything will be under one pool, and ensure that every Nigerian, regardless of income, is covered under a single national plan. Meaning everybody has that plan. As a Nigerian, you can prove you're a Nigerian, you have that healthcare plan. You carry that your card to any hospital, you'll be able to get healthcare. Number two, they can do mandatory emergency subsidy, the subsidy first fund, which is like direct reimbursement. The government must create a dedicated fund to subsidize hospitals that treat emergency patients without prior payment. You understand? So government needs to create like a system where where they can refund money back to hospitals if the hospitals can prove with bills and everything the treatment cost of treatment, then the government should reimburse the hospital. Then there's another one that is called the green light protocol, like mandating that hospital, both public and private, must provide minimum of 24 to 48 hours of life-saving care, like oxygen, blood, surgery, before the issue of payment is even raised. You understand? With the government covering the cost for at the end of the day, it all boils down to government covering the cost for those who cannot afford it. Then another one again can be called localization of essential medicine, like the antivenom and oxygen initiative, right? You can establish a regional production hub for medical grade oxygen and snake antivenom and other kind of antivenom and vaccines. You know, you just cannot rely on importation of all these things. Then another one is subsidizing pharmacy, like creating government-backed pharmacy within every local government area that provide essential life-saving drug at least 70% subsidy rate. Like instead of you going to buy the medicine for 100 naira, government will pay 70 naira. You can pay 30 naira. The another one again that can be had that can be established is called Healthcare Accountability Act, like a legal consequence, like strengthening the law to ensure that any hospital administrator or medical director who turn away a patient in a life-threatening emergency face professional and criminal sanction. The another one is called Patient Advocacy Board, which is establishing independent oversight board in every state to investigate case of medical neglect and payment first facility. Medical neglect not just only consist on not allowing you, not giving you treatment before payment. Like medical neglect, let's say somebody is supposed to give you injection every 30 minutes or give you your medicine every 1 hour, but fail to give you your medicine after 4 hours. You understand what I mean? Or someone that is supposed to restock the oxygen that has been used, fail to restock the oxygen. Those are neglect. You know, I beg, I'm not care. I will do it later. You know me. Nobody need them now. You know, that kind of attitude. That kind of attitude. Then lastly, let me see if it is lastly. Yeah, lastly, which is like leveraging technology for equity, right? Like digital health wallet, like using existing national the existing NIN number, right? System to create digital health wallet for the poor, like preload their emergency credit by government to bypass the no money, no treatment hurdles. So there are so many steps government can take to help the masses in order for them to get healthcare and not die because they don't have payment or money to make down payment. So those are the kind of solutions. But before then, I want to play this video for you to see what a healthcare
All right.
facility is supposed to look like. And this is not this is not the hospital I gave birth to my son, but most of their hospital look exactly like this over here. Let me play it so you see.
This is one of our typical patient rooms in our Methodist rehab. They're nice and big and accessible for us. We have a beautiful view and we have the usual hospital bed. We do have a couple of great features on this, that they actually have a built-in USB port right here. but also the patients, if they're confused, we can set a bed alarm and it will remind the patient to not get up and to lay back down. So pretty much a typical hospital room that you'd see here. But one thing that is very nice about our rehab is that all the patients have their own bathroom and their own shower. So our therapists can actually work with patients on being able to do their own bathing so that they're able to be independent again.
So that's not just one video, right? Or
At
maybe
Methodist
see another one.
Hospital Northeast,
I got this.
this isn't just a career,
I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
it's a calling.
You got this.
We're redefining healthcare by embracing innovation
With this technology, you can go much deeper.
and leading the way in 3D imaging technology. Whether it's with our rapidly growing cardiovascular program or our new advanced robotics programs, we're making a real difference in people's lives. That's why MySA.com has voted us the top hospital in San Antonio for 5 years running. We're proud to be one of only 5 hospitals in San Antonio to receive the Pathway to Excellence Nursing Accreditation. Every day brings new challenges and opportunities to make a difference. We're colleagues, we're family, we're friends, we're mentors. We are Methodist Hospital.
So you see one thing that they have in common, everybody is smiling. You understand? Everybody is
That is where I was. Okay, you just took it out of my mouth. I was going to say, if you observe, they are just smiling.
even if you are a janitor, even if your job is to clean the floor, or your job is to serve food, or your job is to pass medication, when they are training you, they train you with about empathy, how to smile, tell you how far a smile can go and help a person heal and get well. How much empathy can help a person feel human, and because sometimes when people feel sick, they feel depressed, and sometimes some people want to give up. But when you're there to support them as a nurse and as a doctor and let them know we are here for you, mentally it helps you. Yeah. So that was the video I wanted to show you. What do you have to say, my brother? Because we are about coming to the end of the show. Yeah, go ahead.
That's supposed to be the best practice, actually. It's supposed to be. But you know why I still don't want to fault our nurses or doctors too much? I fault them on certain things, but not totally. You know why? Why I say I will not fault them totally? If you are not being paid well, don't get me wrong. Now, these guys that are saying that they are being paid probably hourly.
And training too, also training, because you can pay somebody very well, but if you do not train them properly, they still
Chidi, do you know if you bring our nurses or doctors over there, training or no training, you see that smile, they will still have it. I'm just saying.
Sorry to cut you short. Sorry to cut you short. That part they go for training, because I know a lot of them. Some of them I've treated or attended to me before. They are very intelligent and all, but they still go through that training, because you cannot just come from Nigeria as a doctor. You still need to go and pass their board. And part of passing their exam is there are going to be questions of empathy, of what smiling, all those kind of reception causes to patients. So they're still going to learn that part.
I understand that. I understand. Definitely, they ought to. Training and retraining is very important in any profession. Training and retraining is very important.
Yeah, and it's a continuous thing. Go ahead.
Where I'm going to is, you keep these people on a monthly basis. You pay them 150,000 naira to care for people. And take, for instance, transportation can take assistance now.
Okay, I think we're having a network problem. We are actually coming to the end of the show. We are almost we're gonna be 10 minutes above schedule today.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Your network is bad.
If you are going to from Ring Road to Bypass, at least you've stayed in Benin before, from Ring Road to Bypass, that circulatory bypass, like you're going to worry, that bypass is 1,300 naira as we speak. So you can imagine if a nurse that is working at that hospital at Ring Road has to come from bypass. So our transportation has to be 2,600 naira every day. You understand? And you are paying her 150,000 naira. And you are
That's
paying her
correct.
150,000 naira.
That's correct. No doubt.
So
I don't
how do you
argue.
expect?
I don't argue with you that paying these people is part of it. It's a major part of it. Even the facility and the equipment they provide for them, they don't provide those things for them because these people that I showed you in America is the hospital or the government that provide those equipment. So I understand you. So, but we're actually coming to the end of this show, though. I don't know if you have any closing remark before I give my own closing remark, but our next topic, if you don't mind, I would like us to dive into education the way we dove into healthcare today. You know,
Okay. Basically, like I think I want to believe we've dissected a lot of things, even though it's still the topic is very broad, and we actually have not even gotten to half of it. There are a lot of things that certain names that have not even been mentioned, certain instances in Nigeria that we did not even talk about. But time constraint has made that happen. But hopefully, maybe some other time we will do that.
we're still going to talk
Because
about
I just
healthcare because incident is going to come up that's going to still bring us back to it. And when we're going to have guests on our show, we're
so
going to also talk about things like that. So for sure, we're always going to talk about these things. It's not one and done.
yeah. So basically, I'll just say to whoever in a position of authority or whoever that are running hospitals, let life be the primary interest of all of us, not money. Money definitely to run the facility is very important. Don't get me wrong, but let's save life first before talking about money. So from the government and the private sector, let's try to save life, and monetary aspect of it will always take care of itself.
So you're actually saying that Nigeria should put value to life. Thank you very much. I think
Yeah.
I'd like us to end it right there. You said it all. I don't have anything more to say to that. That was a perfect way to end it. And I would thank our people, our listeners, and our viewers, and those who's going to view this after. Thank you for watching. Please drop your comments. If you have any comment, you can drop it on our next show. We'll read your comments and elaborate. If you have questions, you can drop your comment. And also, if you think it's okay and you want to air your opinion, you can as well join us on the screen. There are ways you can show interest and we'll bring you on. But for now, thank you. Till our next show again. Have a good day. Bye bye. Take care, host. Kizito.